Well, it's a marvelous night for a moon dance with the stars up above in your eyes. A fantabulous night to make romance neath the cover of October skies. You know, the leaves on the
You're listening to Aperture and Shutter Speed. It's time for TR More Photos and me. Tom?
Yes.
How are you doing?
Oh, wonderful.
Oh, great. It's 3:04. We're here every Wednesday at 3 o'clock talking film and photography. Montgomery County.
Camera jibs.
And it is getting crazy with the weather. Outside, look how green those trees are.
Gorgeous. My yard looks like a park.
So we want to apologize for not being here last week. I became weak.
Incapacitated.
I became weak, and I couldn't make it.
Actually found a girl he likes, and he went to Rio de Janeiro.
Oh, yeah, so I just got back, guys. You just see me. I took some great pictures. Didn't even leave the hotel. Hey. No. He's ridiculous. It's 3:05, but yeah, we're Aperture and Shutter Speed. It's me, Dick Schissler, with trmorephotos.com. And we, actually, that sounds like I'm trmorephotos.com. But that's
everybody knows you're not.
That's Tom.
They all know you're not.
That's trmorephotos.com.
I'm TR Moore.
But we talk photography, all that good stuff. So what I want you guys to do, we're talking nature photography for the month of April. And if you want to, at any point during this show, because we're going to be here from 3 to 4, call in 936-647-3776. We're here every Wednesday, and we're going to be talking about nature photography, but also, one second, I got to... Oh, that was me.
I bought him a bagel.
It's still somewhere in the middle. But basically, we're going to be talking about nature photography today, and there's some really cool stuff with green screens, because I don't think anyone ever really thinks about that when shooting nature photography, what you can do with green screens. And then we're gonna do more applications with what as a photographer and film, how you can use green screens to your advantage, not just out in nature, but also for your kind of going back to the portraits, and then also going back to really just the portrait photography, because you can do portrait photography out in nature. So your subject doesn't have to be a person; it can be a plant. And you still the same concepts from last month's show. I encourage you, if you have no idea what we're talking about, we talked about portrait photography last month. So check out the archives on SoundCloud and YouTube for those shows with TR Morphos and I. But yeah, so we have a good show today.
Yes.
Talking about green screens. And then, of course, Tom was featured in an article, so he's going to sit here and want to talk about that all day.
Yes, indeed.
And then on top of that, we have a jib in his possession. So if you don't know what a jib is, we're going to get into a little bit of jibs later.
Jib around.
I can't believe you didn't bring it.
It's too big.
Can we not have fun with it?
Yeah, you can swing around.
It's like a seesaw, right?
You can go 360s up and down. Yeah, it's real cool.
I mean, that's so cool.
Yeah.
I'm jealous.
Yeah.
But he's the professional. I'm the amateur. If you don't know the dynamic we offer, that's really it. So I'm the amateur. I'm the cheapskate. If you don't know me, I have an XL2 video camera, which I purchased in high school right when I was graduating. Funny story about that. I remember we're going on our senior trip. And me not being used to the world of shipping, I ordered it, and it's like, oh, it's going to take 2 weeks to get to you. I'm like, 2 weeks? And I looked at the schedule, in 2 weeks, I was going to be out of the state.
Uh-oh.
And I almost, my parents wanted me to go on this trip with our school, and I go, can I just stay here? Because I'd rather be here when the camera gets here. And they were like, no, you're going on this thing. I'm like, man, all I'm going to be thinking about is the camera. But then again, Star Wars Episode 3 came out. So I got to see that. So I was okay during the trip. Good trade-off. But then we had the XL2, and I have a 20D, Canon 20D with a beautiful, beautiful 17 to 40 millimeter L-series lens from Canon. And I've had that camera for, 8 years or something like that, some ridiculous amount. And I've been looking at these new cameras. Oh, I got to tell you, I ran into a videographer yesterday. He has the Canon C camera, the video camera.
Those are nice.
Those are sweet, man. Oh, man, those are cool. But I got to look at it. I got to study a little bit. Got to see the quality.
Looks like a big egg, doesn't it?
Yeah, those. Okay, so if you don't know what we're talking about now.
That's the 300 or the 100?
I think he had the 100.
Okay.
But it was the...
That's about 5,000.
Yeah. I mean, it's still a good camera.
Oh, very good.
It's really 5,000,
really,
yeah.
really good.
But he was just...
It's not as cool as mine, but it's nice.
Oh, I get it. But yeah, so we're going to talk about film, primarily film today, which is a little different because we always talk about photography. But yeah, there's so many. We're here throwing out words to you guys, but yeah, we'll explain it more and more throughout the episode today. We're here from 3 to 4. So call in 936-647-3776 here on Lone Star Internet Radio. Tom,
Yes.
you are welcome to talk about whatever you want to talk about so we can get it out of the way.
This is free. Free time.
It's whatever you want to do.
Okay, green screen. Why would you want a green screen, and what is the point of a green screen? And if you want to fly,
I was thinking about
simulate flying.
I was thinking more of the Kathy Mogler.
Kathy
On the Town,
Mogler.
you
Okay,
got
then we'll come
featured-
back to that. Okay, Kathy Mogler with On the Town.
Yeah.
We just did an article, and we talk about technicals and things we love, and also about the radio station. And it's in the April edition. And has a kind of a cool photo of me with a high-rise building in downtown Houston. That's
I'm checking it out right now.
American Bank of America buildings. Awesome building.
Shooting his passion. Oh,
Shooting is my passion.
my gosh.
And then
Here we go. I'm pulling it up. I'm loving this right now. I haven't seen this yet. This is the new publication for April for On the Town magazine.
That's right.
Oh, you look good.
Not really, but I mean,
You look better than the author. I'm just
better
kidding.
than-
You guys should check this out. Go to I believe their website is onthetowntexas.com, and there's a little towards the bottom you'll see shooting is his passion.
is my passion.
So TR more photos. So tell me the experience. Tell me what they did to you.
Well, they gave me a lobotomy.
Oh,
No, they just call and first they have you just fill out some general information, what you like, what your future thoughts are, where you are now, where you want to be in a year. Fill out a questionnaire, and then the writer called and she, just did an interview. And thing I really like about the interview is that they were true to what I said, and they didn't embellish and make up a bunch of junk and try to sensationalize it. But I mean, she's a very good writer. And it was a lot of fun to do, and just really appreciate the opportunity, and thank Kathy Mogler with On the Town.
that's a quality magazine too.
It really is. It's a beautiful magazine. Yeah.
So yeah, whoever
And
did-
another thing I want to do is shoot around the Conroe area and do events in the Conroe, Woodlands, Montgomery area, and just put a videotape in the magazine itself, so you can click on a page and you can actually view a commercial, say
What-
90-second commercial there in the magazine.
What's the deal with your profile picture?
I don't know.
I mean, you look like Indiana Jones / what's this, Crocodile Dundee with your cameras, and you're sitting there with your flight jacket. You're just like, yeah. You look cool. I mean, you're ridiculous. You are absolutely ridiculous. But sorry, I'm just looking at it. And
My son took that photograph. I didn't take it, so it's not my fault.
well, your face is really it's natural looking. It's not cheesy at all. You're just kind of like. I mean, why didn't you take this with your shirt off? Is what I'm asking.
My shirt
'Cause-
off?
Well, that's
Wanna
the pose
gross
you're giving.
people out.
That's what the pose you're giving me. But
I
well,
have
that's-
leprosy. That's why.
well, so keep an eye out for On the Town magazine. I think it's coming out. It's already the digital publication. I haven't received mine in the mail yet, but they usually do.
Didn't they bring you about 500 of them last time?
Yeah, I have that. I guess.
You got last. Yeah.
I have.
Last year. Last month won't work. It has to be April.
Yeah.
It won't be there.
So that's really cool, man. That's
Well,
cool.
We mentioned the radio station of Lone Star.
Yeah, I saw that.
Of course. Yeah.
That's cool.
And mentioned Dick
3
Schissler. That's you.
That's me.
Huh?
Yeah.
Huh?
Well, there you go, man.
Yeah.
All right, so green screens.
Yeah. Green screens.
Now we can get back to it. I just wanted you to talk about your article. It sounded like
I
cool.
appreciate that.
wanna-
I appreciate the
People
plug.
need to check it out,
Yeah.
especially check out that biopic of you, biopicture.
Mhm.
You look ridiculous, but I like it. You look good.
Yeah. Indiana Jones.
All right, green screen.
There was a real Indiana Jones.
Was there a
you
green?
know.
Was there? Yeah.
There really was an
I don't
Indiana
doubt it.
Jones.
Was he a professor?
I guess he was, but he is. There really was one. It wasn't just Hollywood. Okay, the
Okay.
green screen thing is really neat because I was just thinking if I want to take some really kind of boring activity and really spice it up. I remember going to Pikes Peak, and at the top of Pikes Peak in Colorado is a beautiful lake. And there was a guy there fishing. He was fly fishing, and I took some shots of him. And I just thought it'd really be cool, like if someone had their teeth extracted or something. And instead of doing it in a cold, clinical environment, you could actually have a green screen, and you could transport that individual to Pikes Peak.
Oh, yeah.
Having their teeth extracted.
Well, when you do this green screen, you got to tell people they have to have some form of editing software.
Right. And you have to have Photoshop.
Yeah. Or there's other ones too, but primarily Photoshop.
Yeah. $50 a month. I mean, that's
not bad.
Really
that's
reasonable.
not a big deal. It's not.
And they give you everything for $50 a month.
Yeah. Well, we can talk more about that. I can talk about that all day.
Yeah.
But we're gonna take a quick break.
Green screen.
Get back to green screen. So
have your teeth extracted on Pikes Peak.
We're gonna get back on Aperture and Shutter Speed.
Get that back molar out of there.
We're here every Wednesday. At
Lose
3.
that abscess.
All right, Tom, cutting you out. I'm just kidding. It's 3:14. We'll be right back after these messages.
There and then I will make you my own. And every time.
Did you know there are over 800 abused children in foster care in Montgomery County? Will you help make a difference? I'm Susan, a volunteer with CASA Child Advocates of Montgomery County. April is Child Abuse Awareness and Prevention Month. CASA Child Advocates trains and supports volunteers to be the voice of children who have been removed from their home because of abuse or neglect. We need volunteers just like you to speak up for these children. To learn more about becoming an advocate, please visit CASASpeaksForKids.com or call 936-441-5437.
Tri-County Services provides services to children and adults with mental illnesses, substance abuse disorders, and intellectual developmental disabilities in Montgomery, Liberty, and Walker counties. Offices are located in Conroe, Cleveland, Liberty, and Huntsville. Some mental health services offer focus on resilience and recovery. Services and supports for individuals with intellectual development disabilities focus on skill development and independence. Tri-County Services offers 24/7 crisis intervention and evaluation with crisis hotline 1-800-659-6994. And their mobile crisis outreach team. Psychiatric crisis treatment is available at Psychiatric Emergency Treatment Center in Conroe. Substance abuse services include treatment for both youth and adults. Substance abuse prevention classes are also provided for younger children and teenagers. Peer support services for veterans are also offered by Tri-County Services. For more information about all programs provided by Tri-County Services, call 936-521-6100 or visit our website at www.tricountyservices.org.
Then I know how much you want me that you can't hide. Can I just have one more dance with
You are my love. You're listening to Aperture and Shutter Speed with me, Dick Schissler, and
Tom Moore, trmorephotos.com.
we're Montgomery County's film and photography radio show. Even though you heard that, you're like, what does that even mean? Because we're on the radio. Well, we can still talk about it if we want, because I like talking about it. We're talking about green screens today and how we can apply it to nature photography. Tom kind of left that last segment out with some ridiculous scenarios about putting people out in nature that they shouldn't be, like getting your teeth pulled, which sounds ridiculous and funny at the same time. I definitely using a green screen does have the idea or the opportunity to make funny photos.
Right.
Like, put your mom in space or something, some
Or
ridiculous
have a
thing.
baby fly.
Have a baby fly. But one thing you got to remember when you're using green screen, you can still use it for practical applications.
Of course.
a
Like
lot-
models, like you were saying.
Like one
models.
thing, just to give you an idea what a practical application of using the green screen when shooting photos is, or shooting photography, and you can also do it for film too, but like say you do have models, or say you have a dress, like for example, my example would be a store that sells dresses. They want to use the dresses, and the problem is they kind of put them in different applications. So they might put them in a magazine, might put them on the website. So they need something that has versatility to it. So instead of having a photo, a 2x4 or 3x6 or whatever of the model with this background, you can actually take a picture with a green screen behind them and remove the background. So you have a lot of flexibility with that model because you actually have the model itself. So you can put it in a magazine with a blue background, or you can put it with a gray background, or you can put it in kind of like a collage of different things. It really does open up the door, and especially with your client, they'll be really happy because they have this file to use in really any type of PR stuff. And if you look at pretty much any magazine, a lot of that stuff's green screened.
Right.
Because especially movie posters. Well, it's one of my favorite things, are just Photoshop movie posters, because they actually did take a photo of a hand and they put it on Ryan Reynolds to be holding the cigar. Because say Ryan Reynolds wasn't really ever holding the cigar, but they took a picture of somebody, they wrapped the person up in a green screen, and they wanted just the arm and the cigar. That's what they did in the green bodysuit, and they got the hand and the scar, and that's how they used it. That's how they did it.
Yeah.
But
those jumpsuits are amazing.
well, same thing with nature photography, because there's a lot of cool stuff you can do when you go out. Like, say you want you have a tree, and you in your project you're working on the poster or whatever you want to do is you want to put that tree on a canvas, a digital canvas, like it could be a book, it could be a magazine, whatever you want to put it in, and you can set up a green screen behind it. And when we say green screen, we use the green word loosely, because basically what you're looking for is the opposite color spectrum of your subject. That way the program can actually take that color and delete it, make it. And they actually have a new tool in Photoshop called Remove Background, and you select what color the background is, and it removes every color like that. So having the green screen makes it literally like 2-step click, boom, boom, done. And that's what I did, and I smiled all the way to the bank.
Yeah, and then you can change that background as you want and keep the subject as it is, and you can put them in China. You can put them anywhere you want them, and have them traveling the world, and they just didn't even leave their home, and it's really pretty amazing.
Because there's a lot of fun you can have with it, especially if you do the reverse idea. Instead of having the green screen behind somebody, create the subject as the green screen. So the example I was telling Tom that we've used in the past, especially for video, because the same idea for Photoshop can be applied to video. So if you take a green screen, you can put them in New York City if you have B-roll of just New York City. And a lot of TV shows, you'd be surprised, use an absurd amount of green screen. So pretty much every show on CBS, that's not real. They're not in Las Vegas on what is it called? CIS? Is that what it's called? They're not in Las Vegas. They're really not. CSI, that's what it is. So I'm an idiot. But do the reverse effect. So to give you an example, you get a basketball, okay, and then you can sew together a green or blue, wherever you're going to be, the opposite color spectrum. Usually green works really well out in a studio, because most things when you go into a studio, there's not really green present. So you can still use green. I've seen blue. Blue would be kind of hard because if you're doing outside, because the sky. Green would still be that highlighter green. It would still be good to use. But what you can do with it, if you can imagine, is you can shoot somebody playing basketball, and what you do, you film for a minute, and then you take your film, put it in your editing program, and you identify the green, and you can replace that basketball with, like, say, a rock or a head, like a person's head. A digital,
a ball on fire.
A ball on fire. You can add some effects to it, and it's really cool. You can do some really neat stuff with it. And I know in After Effects is the one I use. So if you're out there looking for programs, I only really use After Effects to do all that kind of stuff, and in Photoshop, because you can still edit it in Photoshop. But what do you use it for?
Green screen?
Yeah.
Well, again, just to
put you in a picture with hot babes.
No, I'm married. Hot babes. That's all.
So you put your wife with some hot studs,
right,
for her birthday,
right. That too. No, but just using it for practical application, backgrounds to take a sterile environment that is boring and give it a real spin of excitement. Person can travel the world on a green screen, like you're talking about, pretending like they're in New York when you're actually just in a studio. The thing about it is it's very sterile, and it's not exactly inspirational, that all you're doing is standing in front of a screen. So your imagination for the actor needs to be very good, because it's hard to simulate when you're not actually there. Well, so it does have some drawbacks in that way.
Well, what's even cooler about that, and I think a lot of people don't realize this, but most movies today do use a lot of green screen, but you can also use it to help immerse the person into the world you're trying to tell a story to. So, like, for example, I've seen, like, take downtown Conroe. What you can do and what'd be really cool is, say, where our Lone Star Internet Radio Studios is located in downtown Conroe on Main Street, and it's a very old building, long strip. And what you can do is imagine putting up green fabric on top of the building, like 6 feet high, and all the way down across all, like, the 6 shops. What that allows you to do is you can put something there to add a little bit more flavor to the shot. So say you want to add, like, a second story, and just digitally put in a second story and say your subject lives on the top floor. Well, we can use the inside of the studio for the downstairs. He walks through the front door, but then when he walks the upstairs, you can just you give the set image of, oh, there's an upstairs to this building, but you never actually shoot any more than that, and then you find some other location for the upstairs. You just make up another location. So you really can use those little things. Because like, say I walk out my house, well, so you might not see the second floor from the outside. You might see like a little bit of the second floor, but that way you're still adding more to the storyline. Those little things really help out. I've seen it used on corners. So if they're filming a shot at a corner, looking down the deal, and they want to add cars and things like that just to the side, like not a main focus subject, but they want to have some movement to the right of the screen, or maybe a person who is checking the meter. They add something, so they put a green screen up, and they can put something there, like put a car there, or they want to add more depth to the shot. I mean, I can't believe they spent money on adding a car. But that's what they did. Like the person who was directing, like, oh, we need to put something there to add more flavor to the shot, and like mailboxes, it's like little stuff like that. They really do. Like some people do little things.
So life is an illusion.
Well, we'll give you even more idea. Like let's take the front shop idea, because you watch those shows. I guess like the biggest example would be, you ever seen the TV show called Chuck?
No.
Well, it was a TV show on NBC, and Chuck, your character, worked at this imaginary Best Buy. It wasn't called Best Buy. It was called Buy More. Well, they actually used a building similar to Best Buy. And what they did is they covered the main signage area with green fabric. And what they did is for the shot, every shot that was outside, it still had the building. It was still real, but they superimposed the Buy More logos on everything. So it looked real, because it was a real building. So, because you can kind of tell when it's like a fake building, and especially on TV, they don't have as much money as, say, the Lord of the Rings do. And they took that out, and they actually you can put whatever you want. So if you're shooting, like say you're doing a concept art, right? And you're doing a concept art for a bakery. And they go, well, I want to have this little quaint little town. I come down to downtown Conroe. I go up to Conroe Coffee. I'm like, hey, do you mind if I put a green thing above your business? And you actually can put the sign for the future business right there. So you can put a green fabric right there on top, put green fabric on the windows, and you can use that. That way you can select it in post-production and put something there. So, I mean, that's how they kind of immerse you into the fake world. If you don't have the money to actually create a sign for some fake business, that's a neat way to do it, because you're using real-world elements while adding fake ones to it.
So how would you simulate in a war situation 2,000 men with a green screen instead of actually having that many people stand in? Any idea?
Well, that's just, you just have to have actors, and you also have to know how many. Like, say you want to do 200. Well, I'd say you need at least 50 real people to make it look good. And then you do, depending on your shots and where you are, you got to find a good location, and then you also have to have enough fabric, because you got to superimpose the 200 men. So say you're doing like the Death March or something, so you're in this long wooded area that you can fit 200 people, but you can just have 50 march, and then you put the green screen behind them. And you can even have the green screen on jibs, and it moves with the people. And that's how I shoot it. And then you get a computer graphics guy, because that's a little different, because that's not just green screen replacing stuff. You're adding fake people walking, and that's a little bit more intense, instead of just making a fake label and putting on it. Like, you can do that with fun stuff like coffee cans and stuff like that. So if you put a green screen around the coffee mug or something, you can actually replace it.
Right.
You can put it. If you notice, a lot of people actually, how when you watch TV, they have blurry images of like brands. Well, they just use koozies that are green, or like green tape, and then they can just replace it with whatever. Like, instead of sitting there and blurring out each thing, they just click the green and say blur, and it blurs the green. So it makes it clear, and it's a little easier. The green screen just makes that process a little easier.
Big money saver.
Yes.
Huge.
But no, it's really fun to do that with, especially when you're doing product shots. Nature photography, not so much. But like, if you're, like I said, if you want to create a fake product and say you're trying to do a concept art, because really for concept art, it's limitless. So if you're selling to somebody like, oh, we want to do a new soda pop, we're going to call it Nuka-Cola. well, I have this idea, but I don't want to spend the money to make it. So you get green tape, put it around the old Coke bottle, and then you take that little area that you put green on it. So like say you want to put it at the lip, so you want to put something at the top, so you put green tape at the top, and you put green tape on the label. That way you can actually mimic it in post-production.
Mm-hmm.
But we're getting to graphic design. We're not getting to photography. We're kind of forgetting. So I'm sorry about the tangent.
It's all right. It's interesting.
When we come back, we're going to talk about Gorilla Pods.
Gorilla Pods,
on
yes.
Aperture and Shutter Speed. There's a lot of cool stuff you can do with green screen, folks. And then just don't be limited to the actual screen. Those green and screen aren't serious words. Take them loosely because you can get blue, and it has to be a screen. It could be tape. It could be a lot of little weird things like a blue ball. Those are always fun.
And they're inexpensive.
Yeah.
They're very inexpensive.
But we'll be back. We got some messages coming up on Lone Star Net Radio. You are listening to Aperture and Shutter Speed, and we will be right back after these messages.
The East Texas Dream Center, conveniently located at 301 South 1st Street, Conroe, Texas 77301, relies solely upon the generosity of those who are led to contribute. We are a Christian organization that houses women and children who are trying to get their lives back after being homeless, abused, or addicted. Your financial contributions are tax deductible. We are recognized by the IRS as a tax-exempt organization under Section 501c3. With faith, hope, education, and a lot of love, we seek to lead individuals towards self-sufficiency so they can become contributing members of society. Your generous gift will help women and children in our community. Please visit our website to find ways to donate or volunteer. Our website is www.easttexasdreamcenter.org. Again, the website is www.easttexasdreamcenter.org. A telephone number where you can reach us is 281-601-6800. Thank you and have a blessed day.
Hi, I'm Joyce with the Corner Pub in downtown Conroe. We're located at the corner of Simonton and North Main, just across the street from the courthouse. The week starts off Monday with open mic hosted by Alan, and Tuesday nights open mic hosted by Jeremy Bankhead. And on Thursday evening, McFarland Jams. There's nightly drink specials available every night, all night. And don't forget, live entertainment every weekend. To see a full list of events, visit our website at thecornerpubinconroe.com. So come join us at the Corner Pub, where the deli is open late.
The Conroe YMCA's benchmark adaptive programming for kids and adults is Leap of Faith. Leap of Faith is an equine-assisted therapy program serving children and adults with adaptive needs. The riders in our Leap of Faith program are working to address and manage specific aspects of their lives impacted by illness, injury, or disability. The Leap of Faith program has experience working with riders who are living with attention deficit or other hyperactivity disorders, hearing impairments, visual impairments, developmental delays or disabilities, autism, Down syndrome, multiple sclerosis, muscular dystrophy, head traumas, brain injuries, and paralysis. Our program uses horseback riding to develop self-confidence and self-esteem, to increase upper and lower body strength, assist in respiratory issues, and establish a trusting relationship between the rider and their horse. Not only do these activities aid in the physical and mental development of the rider, but they also foster self-reliance and independence. For more information regarding our program, to become a rider, or to volunteer with a great group of people, please call our Welcome Center at 936-441-9622 or visit our website at www.ymcahouston.org/Conroe.
You are listening to IR Lone Star Radio, and this is Aperture and Shutter Speed. I'm Tom Moore, trmorephotos.com, and with my partner here,
Hey!
Dick Schissler.
Yeah, green screens, man. They're the way of the future.
Yeah, baby.
Way of the future. Oh, they're a lot of fun. I think probably one of my favorite things, one last note, is being able to watch these videos like VFX After Effects shots, and showing you just how much green screen. Like if you go to YouTube, type in VFX green screen demonstration or something, and they'll show. There's a really cool compilation I saw about TV about how much CBS uses it, and it's like they create whole worlds, and it was really cool. Or the shows that you don't even notice, like the Law and Order shows, they're not really on the courthouse steps. It's crazy. Like they're really not. They're out on some podium, and it's like, oh, put a green screen behind them. We'll add people walking, and because they're not in focus, so it's you can trick a lot of people.
It's amazing. If I was an actor, I'd have a hard time in that environment because it's just a green screen.
Stop being a baby. That's what I tell them. That's what I would tell them.
Yeah. Okay. Well. Anyway, talking about Gorilla Pods.
Gorilla Pods. What's a Gorilla Pod?
And Joby makes a Gorilla Pod, and what is cool about it? If you're out hiking, and you don't want to, be weighed down with a 25-pound tripod like mine weighs, you can just take yourself buy just a 2x2 stick at Lowe's and put a point on the end of it, and put it in your backpack or strap it on, tape it on, however, and have a Gorilla Pod, and you can just drive that stake into the ground, and then wrap your Gorilla Pod around it. And it's strong enough to support a digital camera and a camcorder. So that's pretty unique because usually they're very limited in what they will hold, and they don't stay where you put them, and they sag, and that's just not good. So if you're, for instance, at a waterfall, and if you want to shoot with a real slow shutter speed, say 15 or slower, and you want to get a real satiny smooth look on the water, and that's how they do it. It's just you have a real slow shutter speed. Or shooting at night, it has to be done on a tripod, and having that stick with a point on it and just driving into the ground, and then attaching your camera and put the timer on, 2-second timer, take your hand away and let it shoot. And then if you need a different angle, you just pull it up, obviously, and just drive it into the ground again. And then, when the gorilla's attacking, you can just stab them with your stick. And so it's multiple uses. And that guy you can buy at Best Buy. It's like $20, $19.99. I even have a model number. That's GP1-01P. And it's just a cool little instrument to have.
Don't forget, there's a lot more than just that one.
Yeah, you mean as far as the
sizes? Yeah, you talked about it.
Yeah,
so.
you have a lot of different sizes.
You can actually, they range from $20 all the way. They're big dog.
You spend a lot of money.
They're big dog. It looks like to be $100.
Yeah, you can always spend more.
But if anything, what's really neat about these are
you can wrap it around your head and run with a camera.
Well, not just that, but like you can use the smaller phone cameras or the smaller cameras that are not DSLRs, and you can do some interesting stuff with that. Because I know a lot of people are always trying to take a group photo, and they're like, "Oh, I don't know where to do. Like, we don't really know where we can set this camera." And then you use a Gorilla Pod around the light pole or something, and you can
take your stick and drive it in the ground. Yeah. See there? Yeah, gotta have a stick.
Yeah. So you also purchased a jib.
Yes.
Now, can you use the Gorilla Pod on the jib?
Of course you could. Yeah. I don't know why you would. Because platform.
Tell me about the jib.
Yeah, well, the jib, you can jib up 8 foot. It also goes down to 6 or 3 foot. Obviously, if you're in a small environment, you want a shorter arm. And you can put your fluid head on it and just swivel left and right, or a 360. The whole unit goes in as 360 and goes up and down. And when you want those shots where, say, if you want to shoot a rider on a horse, and you want to shoot over their head and have them walk under the camera, it's a really nice effect. And then just gliding around, you can make it look like the camera's flying. And it's seamless. There's no bumping or shaking. And you were talking about the Blair Witch Project. And I remember seeing that there's so much shake and camera noise that it gave me a headache. I had to turn it off. It was real poorly done to start with. The subject was
You didn't
very
like
weak.
you didn't like the movie?
No,
It's not your favorite movie?
I thought it was silly. Yeah.
Oh,
but
well.
I know you didn't like it either.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It was scary as hell.
No, it wasn't. It was silly. But anyway, people are distracted by that, and camera shake is just a huge problem when you're holding a DSLR camera. You can tell if it's being held. Even using a shoulder mount professional camera, if you've used a shoulder mount, you can tell it's on the shoulder instead of on a tripod or on a jib. And it just makes a huge difference. It gives a professional sweeping look, like if you're doing landscapes and you want to shoot a bed of flowers and then sweep over to a pond or to the front of a home and not have the break in the action and having it look really sharp.
Well, it's the little things that really count up.
Oh,
when
really
people
do. It
people
just
don't
makes
notice
a
that
big
kind of
difference.
Stuff, but
Yeah. And if you don't do it, they do notice. And when you do, they go, wow,
He sucks.
really good. Yeah.
He sucks.
Don't hire him.
He's just a gorilla
no
pod.
good. He's a gorilla pod. It's probably on his head.
That's pretty cool, though. I'm glad you got a jib. I can't believe you didn't bring it here.
Well,
But
you didn't ask me to.
Well, you didn't tell me about it.
Oh, well.
We don't talk about outside this show. Well, that's pretty cool. So, what do you plan on using this jib for?
Actually, a wedding this weekend.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And I'm going to have the bride walk under it, and just float along as she is walking away. And then
You don't think it's going to be intrusive at all to like the actual wedding?
no, because I'll be far enough away, and with a 400 millimeter, I can just be completely
How do you
behind
have
the
a remote
audience.
control?
Not yet. The remote control for mine is $5,200.
Hey
Yo, baby.
that makes sense. That's
Yeah.
cool though.
It's so expensive. And then you put your monitor at the bottom of the jib, and you can see exactly where you are. So a cool thing about having, obviously, a 430 millimeter lens is that you can be far enough away, literally behind the spectator or their guests, and not be a distraction, and just zoom in and then just float around and show the audience when they're slapping the kid for not being quiet and that kind of stuff. So you want that action too.
So where'd you get your jib?
Adorama in New York.
Okay, so how much did that shipping cost?
$65.
Oh man,
It's a 3 day. It's 3 days. It's going to get here by tomorrow. Better be.
oh, so he hasn't even come here.
No, it will be soon.
Man.
I'm excited about
Okay.
it. It's going to be a blast.
Well, we can take a break right now if you want to take a break, and then we'll close out the show.
Yeah,
I
man.
know because it sounds like you're running out of jib talk.
Ah.
So it hasn't even been. It's not even here. We're gonna have an open party. We're open box party, right?
Let's do it.
Cool. Well, you're listening to Aperture and Shutter Speed. It's 3:41. We're gonna take a quick break, and then we're gonna talk about what's coming up next week, especially with nature photography. I know today we didn't really do that, so it's important to talk about nature photography because there's a lot of cool stuff going on with this weather. And then I'm not gonna talk about it. We're gonna go to a break. That's where we'll be right back on Aperture and Shutter Speed, and we're gonna take a quick break.
The soft moonlight seems to shine in your place.
This is Dr. Stephen McKernan. I'm the CEO and a physician at Lone Star Family Health Center. We have a new location at 605 South Conroe Medical Drive in Conroe. Our new facility has adult and pediatric dentistry and full medical care for your entire family. We also have an on-site pharmacy, lab, x-ray, and a certified diabetes educator to help our diabetic patients control their blood sugars. We accept Medicaid, Medicare, and all insurances, as well as sliding fee with eligibility through our eligibility office. Our phone number is 936-539-4004. Lone Star Family Health Center would love to be the health home for you and your family.
I'm Lauren Maddox for Lone Star College System. Discover all that Lone Star College Montgomery offers at Maverick Mania Open House, coming to Lone Star College Montgomery on Tuesday, April 1st from 4:30 to 7 p.m. Take a campus tour, visit with representatives from every academic program, and get your admissions and financial aid questions answered. There will even be information on the academic and workforce programs offered at Lone Star College Conroe Center. Those who pre-register online and then attend the event will be eligible for a prize drawing for free tuition for the fall semester. So plan now to attend Maverick Mania at Lone Star College Montgomery on Tuesday, April 1st. All the details are online at lonestar.edu/openhouse-Montgomery. I'm Lauren Maddox for Lone Star College System.
This is Holly Price, Events Manager with Children's Cancer Recovery Foundation. The foundation assists children under age 18 and their families who are facing the hardships of a cancer diagnosis. Our mission focuses on improving the mental, social, and emotional well-being of these families while helping to minimize the devastation that cancer can cause. Located in the Woodlands, Texas, we support families who often face financial difficulties through our Helping Hands Fund. The Helping Hands Fund provides emergency bridge payments directly to the utility companies and landlords, ensuring that each child has a warm, safe place to call home while recovering from cancer. For more information, you can contact us directly at 713-389-5544. You can also check out our upcoming events or make a donation by visiting our website at www.childrenscancerrecovery.org.
That's magic. Seems to whisper and hush. You know, the soft moonlight seems to shine.
You're listening to IR Lone Star Radio. This is Aperture and Shutter Speed. I'm Tom Moore, trmorephotos.com, and with my buddy here, Mr.
Dick Schissler. No, Dick Schissler. Welcome to Aperture and Shutter Speed, and we have been talking about cool products like Jibs and Gorilla Pods. And if you want more information about the Gorilla Pod, visit joby.com. It's joby.com. And also, if you want to check out adorama.com, they have all these cool products we've been talking about, like jibs. They have different jibs. They have different dolly systems. Do you know what the craziest thing I'm looking at right now is? You can buy track for these dollies for like $800. It's crazy.
Just a track for it to roll
Yeah,
on?
just a track. So when I go in my mind, I'm like, do-it-yourself project right there. Spend at least 1/3 of that.
Oh.
But yeah, it's adorama.com. Not telling you to go to Adorama to buy the Gorilla Pod, though. They sell Gorilla Pods on adorama.com. So
you get it at Best Buy too. I think I mentioned that before.
Yeah, but I mean Adorama, they have more options because they like Gorilla Pods. They have like 10 different ones. So the concept just applied to each length. And we talk about green screens today. Green screens are pretty dang cool. If you ever want to check that out, I would encourage you to go out and you can't. It's really weird. You can't really buy a green screen like at a fabric store, like that color green. I tried, but it's better just to go online and search places that sell it.
I think I saw one for $22. It's kind of small, but
it's a sheet. I mean, what you want to do is just get a sheet. And you can actually install grommets on it, so you can actually hang it. Use bungee cords.
You can buy a white sheet and just dye it green.
Oh yeah, I guess you could.
It's kind of a mess, but I mean, if you really stretch
and
for
heavier
it
the better. By the way, because you really don't want light going through it.
Right.
That's you got to get pretty heavy duty green cloth. And then other than that, you make sure to use a good program. Photoshop is pretty easy. There really is. Like the newest Photoshop CC. It's like a 3-click deal. Remove background, and then you identify the background, and then you remove it.
And the wonderful thing about Photoshop now, and it's been my big peeve about them, is that their technical support used to run out in 90 days, so you're just kind of stuck. And then they hit you every time you have an issue, like would hit you with $49 charge or $59 charge. But now it's just $50 a month, and you could use all of their products, as you were saying, and you get the latest products, and you get 24-hour technical support, which is fantastic.
Oh, it's
amazing.
Yeah, there was a huge uproar about it when they changed platforms, but I love it because we use it here at Lone Star, and it's very minimal in cost, and then also you get an opportunity to check out their other products, because I know a lot of people who like use strictly Photoshop. Well, maybe they'll check out InDesign and Illustrator, because you can still use both to help you with your photos. Because I know like some people like to add more artistic looks to their photos, and you don't want to just use Photoshop. You can use Illustrator too, because I know Illustrator has a really good, a powerful tracing program. So you can trace your photos of your subjects and stuff like that. And then they also have all the other stuff like After Effects for your film. You want to make lightsabers. You want to have lightsabers. Green screen a stick. Go to After Effects. Boom. You got lightsabers within minutes. Pretty cool.
You're also saying you can download it to multiple computers, which is huge.
Oh, yeah, well, I mean, we have a home office, and then we
Right.
have the studio, and I have it installed on all my computers, especially on all the computers we use for our remote broadcasts. So I think I have like a total of 7 computers that have, but the only thing is you have to log in. That's the only difference is you log in, and then you're good to one You can use the same program, and one of my favorite features is the settings sync. So say I have a certain layout for my Photoshop, I like my toolbars a certain way. Well, when I go home and I update it and I come back here, my settings will be updated to what I changed it to. So I do a lot of default. I change the defaults to my window layouts all the time, especially when I'm editing on two screens. And say I go home on my laptop, I have one screen, so that's not really going to work out. So I have two settings, one for dual screen, one for single screen, and it's just a click of a button, and I go back.
Time saver.
Yeah, it's great. I encourage everyone to check it out. At least I know they have a 30-day trial for it. And you don't have to download all the programs, too. You can actually select which ones you want on each computer, because I know I did that when it came down to processing speed. Like some of the laptops I have can't cut After Effects.
Right.
So I was like, why the heck would I even install it?
Right.
So keep that in mind. It's a really cool tool. And then we're going to be talking about, I guess we're going to be closing up the show. Next week, we're going to be talking about nature photography, definitely. And especially with this weather improving in Montgomery County and the parks really are calling me. The parks are calling me, and tripods are calling me, because really we need to talk about what equipment you need, and I need a tripod. And I think Tom is really passionate about tripods. You would see it when you look at his face, but he's like, TR Morphos don't mess around with tripods. Yeah. And so one thing that you always tell people is don't buy cheap tripods.
Yeah, if you buy a cheap tripod, if you can, especially if you use a telephoto lens and you hang that puppy on a cheap tripod, what is going to happen? It's going to sag. And every time you put it on your subject, you're going to have to overset it so when it sags in the position you want it. So if you see a tripod, unless like the store's going out of business, like when the Ritz store went out of business at the mall about a year ago, and they were selling their tripods like 70% off or whatever it was. Get one that is going to support your camera. So take your camera to the store and actually mount it onto your tripod to make sure it's going to work for you. Otherwise, you're going to end up having to take it back anyway. And there's a mysterious event that's coming up, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be next week.
On Tuesday.
It's going to be the blood moon. Yeah, there's a blood moon coming, and it's going to be Tuesday in the morning. Actually, there's going to be 4 blood moons. And it's a historical, it's a really an ominous thing. So, but, if you're into shooting nature photography and you have something very unusual, the blood moon is coming.
It's April 15th, if you didn't know.
In the morning.
Well, it's called a total lunar eclipse. And it creates, and then one thing, this is a perfect time to shoot nature photography.
Yes.
Because you can do some cool stuff without using the green screen. And
get your green screen on the moon.
Yeah. So, that's April 15th. Please mark your calendars. If you want to know more information, just go to Google and type in blood moon. They expect it to happen early in the morning. So it's going to be a little different. It's not at night, not towards the night. It's towards the day in the morning. And mark your calendars. Literally, I think we might do a special giveaway since it's April. You know what I'll do?
What?
I have 4 Taste Fest tickets right here.
I thought you were giving me one.
No.
Come on.
No. You get you're a show guy, so I want to give you a special show band. You're a cool guy. I like you.
Okay.
I have 4 Taste Fest tickets right here in my hands, and
that's
is
$15 a piece.
That's $60 value.
Yeah.
If you don't know what Taste Fest is, go to conroe.org, and I want to give these away. I don't know, it has nothing to do with photography, but if you're going to take a picture of this month of nature, send it in. Go to our Facebook, Aperture and Shutter Speed, our Lone Star Internet Radio, like us, and send us your pictures, and we'll rate them. And then if you win, you get 4 tickets to Taste Fest coming up on May 8th. So for the month of April, we will close it down at the very, very end. So you have till the 30th. But if it's a blue moon, or it's a blood moon picture, man,
That would be cool.
That
means you have to get
get
up
you,
very
that might
early.
give you bonus points just because I know
Yeah.
how difficult it is to take that photo.
And HEB is going to have their special smorgasbord thingy where it's really supposed to be amazing.
Oh, at Taste Fest?
Yeah, at Taste Fest. I don't remember what it's called.
I mean, there's going to be beer and food there, so it's going to be awesome.
Yeah,
And
I know where Dick's going to be.
Yeah.
He's going to be chugging and chugging.
Yeah, and eating and eating.
Eating and eating.
But no, this is going to be, it's going to be a cool event. That's Taste Fest. That's more information at conroe.org. It's a $60 value, 4 tickets to May 8th, 5 to 8 p.m. at the Lone Star Convention Center. That's 4 tickets for those who take the best nature photos this month of April, because this is in May. And Blue Moon, April 15th, early in the morning. You better be there at B Square. And I think next week we're going to talk more about nature photography, especially about how to shoot at night.
Right.
Because you've seen those pictures of the world revolving in one still shot. There's ways to capture that. First is you don't need to be in Houston because you can't take pictures of the star in Houston. You need to come out to Montgomery County where we already are.
It's nice and dark.
Then, one thing I want to try to accomplish this week, I want to get the nice folks over at the Parks and Recs Department and talk about where would be a good park to go to, because there are a lot of beautiful parks around here. And knowing where to shoot nature, where the heavy nature is, because you can go all the way to Huntsville and go into the national park right there, or the state park, and that's a really cool. There's some really cool shots in there too. But now it's a season to do nature photography. It's green outside, blue and sunny. Tom, thanks for hanging out with me today.
Yeah, it's been fun.
It's been fun. Has it really been fun?
Absolutely.
Best day of your life.
I love it.
We'll be back next Wednesday from 3 to 4. You're listening to Aperture and Shutter Speed, folks. I enjoyed today. I hope you guys are enjoying your day, and we'll be back next week.
Yeah, get some sun.
You know the night's magic seem to whisper and hey.
Hey everyone, this is Tina, your host from Retro Saturdays. I wanted to invite you to visit the Lone Star Studios here in downtown Conroe, Texas. We're all volunteers here, and we need your help in serving the Montgomery County area. Radio media is a fun field to be in. Lone Star Internet Radio serves Montgomery County with news, current events, local programming, and of course, music. If you are interested in volunteering and sharing your talents in media, go to irlonestar.com and let us hear from you. Lone Star Internet Radio, serving Montgomery County from the heart of downtown Conroe.